Hey guys, it's me, the Twilight Dash, and today I'm going to be talking about the development of Twilight Sparkle from seasons 1 to 9 in Friendship is Magic. So let's get right into it. So in Twilight was a young filly or something like that. She went to Celestia's school or something, and but then after the Sonic rain boom happened with a young Rainbow Dash at one point. It basically caused Twilight and the other main five ponies to get the key marks as well. So after that thing happened, Celestia basically took Twilight as her student that day and took her to Cantala, I believe, where she basically studied and whatnot. But then she wasn't making friends, sadly, until the first episodes of season 1, where Celestia tells her to actually make friends instead of worrying about the whole Nightmare Moon situation in the first 2 episodes, which she does, and with the help of her new friends Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Fluttershy, and Applejack. They're able to use the elements of harmony to defeat Nightmare Moon and restore Princess Luna at the end of the first 2-parter. Anyways, after that, Twilight tries to be friends, I guess. But there are episodes where she does fuck up a lot, I think. Like in the episode with Gilda in it, she refuses to believe that Gilda is a bad character, I guess, after Pinkie Pie keeps venting to Twilight about Gilda. And what else? I don't know, honestly, but there are so many episodes in season 1 where she does fuck up in situations like with the Gilda one, I guess, but she does learn from it as well. So yeah, I will give her that. But then in season 2, when Discord attacked, I'm not attacked. What happened was he was set free from his stone imprisonment, and then when he took over Equestria, Twilight's plan originally was to use the elements on the mind. Kind of the mind-controlled versions of her friends. But since she didn't have Rainbow Dash at the time, she wasn't able to complete the spell to defeat Discord, as the Discord caused her to also become mindless as well, in a sense. But then after reading all of Celestia's letters that she wrote to Celestia, she managed to regain her memories, and then use the same methods on the other main 5 ponies as well. And at the end, they're able to defeat Discord and turn him back into stone once again. In season 3, she also fucks up a lot too, I think. Like in the 3rd episode called Lesson 0, where she basically has nothing to write about to Celestia, and then she keeps causing friendship problems to happen, and she also goes crazy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember what else now in season 2. Oh yeah, that in the season finale called The Royal Canterlot Wedding. She tries to expose Cadence as a fake, but then the fake Cadence just, cries it off and convinces everyone that Twilight's the bad guy here, when in reality it was a fake Cadence. And even though I don't blame the other ponies for basically thinking Twilight is the jerk in that situation, I do think that Twilight could have handled it differently, honestly. Like, at the same time. Anyways, that was season 2. In season 3, in the first 2 episodes called the Crystal Empire, Celestia sends Twilight and her friends on a task to help Cadence and Shine Armor restore the Crystal Empire and get rid of King Sombra, who's trying to reclaim like the Empire like as his own again. So after Twilight finds the Crystal Hearts, because she tries to create a new one or something like that from scratch, but it doesn't work. But after she finds the original one again, Sombra traps her, but then Spike manages to bring the Crystal Heart to Cadence, who uses it to stop Sombra and banish him at the end. And so that was the first part of season 3, I believe. Later on in season 3, in the episode Magical Mystery Curse or Cure, I think, a strange spell has caused the other main 5 ponies to swap their key marks. For example, Rainbow Dash has Fluttershy's key mark, and Rarity has Rainbow Dash's key mark for some reason. So after Twilight comes up with the idea to use the Elements of Harmony that she got from Celestia the last time, when she asked them to free Discord and convince Fluttershy to talk him into using his magic for good. Twilight basically uses the Elements of Harmony in order to fix all of this crazy shit in Equestria, and after that, Twilight gets teleported into this like dimension with Celestia, who reveals that she's ready to become a princess and an alicorn too. So at the end, Twilight appears, but with wings, and then Celestia announces that she's a princess now, a friendship, and yeah, that was season 3. In the movie Equestria Girls, before season 4 aired, Twilight is going to the Crystal Empire for her coronation or something, and then at one point, one of Celestia's old students called Sunset Shimmer arrives in the Crystal Empire and steals the crown for some, and it still baffles me how she knows like where it was exactly. But anyways, like Sunset Shimmer like steals the crown, takes it to the human world to try to take over both human and both the human world and Equestria. And so into Twilight and Spike go into the human world in order to like get back, and after meeting the human versions of her friends, they're able to stop Sunset Shimmer and reclaim the crown for Twilight. And yeah, that was the movie, the first one anyway. In season 4, Twilight and Spike moved to Canterlot in the first 2 episodes called Princess Twilight Sparkle, because her friends have to go back to Ponyville now, like without her. But then she has to go back to her friends in Ponyville because she needs their help to find out what happened to Celestia and Luna after a series of vines have attacked Equestria. So after drinking a potion from Zecora that lets her see into the past, she's able to find out that they need to put the Elements of Harmony back into the Tree of Harmony. And after she does that, it basically frees Celestia and Luna and causes all the vines to disappear. But then it also causes the elements to be locked up again in the Tree of Harmony. But then in exchange, the Tree of Harmony creates this a magical locket in the process. And in order to unlock this locket or something like that, the main 6 had to find 6 different keys that basically match their personalities in a sense. So for example, for Rarity, her one is a trophy, Pinkie Pie's one is a rubber chicken, Rainbow Dash's one is a medal, Fluttershy's one is a flower, Applejack's one is a coin, And Twilight's one is actually a bit more interesting because it's Tyrik's pendant that his brother gave to him, who he gave to Discord at the end of season 4, and then he gave it to Twilight as a symbol of friendship, which was Twilight's key, like, you know, all along. And it causes her and the main any other main 5 ponies to gain a temporary boost of magic after Tyrik like steals all of their magic, and it basically causes Tyrik to go back into the underworld, you know, like all drained of magic again. But yeah, there were other episodes in season 4 too. Like, for example, in one episode called Twilight Time or something like that, Twilight tries to help the Keymark Crusaders like learn basic things like how to build, like, you know, like a unicycle, chemistry, and magic. But then the Keymark Crusaders take advantage of her time by inviting like their classmates like to her place. But then they quickly fix it by showing off their skills that Twilight has taught them. And yeah, at the end, whenever the Keymark Crusaders like visit Twilight now, they have to wear disguises in order to not attract attention to themselves or Twilight. And that was season 4. In season 5, Twilight and the gang like get a new castle after season 4 with Tyrik, and in this castle they basically have like a key mark map that tells them to, and that basically tells 1 or 2 ponies to basically go to different parts of Equestria to solve friendship problems. And the first problem was to go to this village in Equestria in order to set it free from a Starlight Glimmer, who has convinced the ponies there that cutie marks are evil and they take away friendship or something like that. And at one point, the main 6 discover a Starlight secret, but then they're ambushed and lose their key marks at one point. But then Fluttershy finds out that Starlight still has her key mark and exposes her in the process, causing the other ponies to basically arise against a Starlight Glimmer and take back their key marks from her. And then she escapes, but not before announcing her revenge later on in season 5, I guess. But there are other episodes too in season 5, I believe, like the one called Princess Spike, where Twilight is too sleepy after staying awake for like a few days, and Cadence basically tells Spike that she has to get some sleep in order to attend this like royal event like in a few days. And Spike tries to do his best as a princess for some reason, but then it doesn't go well, and he apologizes for his mistakes at the end. When Twilight wakes up. Also, in another episode called Amending Fences, Twilight goes back to Canterlot to see some of her old friends that she had back in school. In Canterlot. But anyways, you know, like, she basically meets some of her friends, including this one friend called Moon Dancer, who's a copy and paste of Twilight, except she doesn't have wings. And she keeps like being mean to Twilight, and Twilight realizes that she's basically acting this way because Twilight ditched her after leaving with Celestia. But then she apologizes to Moon Dancer, and they become friends again. What else happened in season 5? Oh yeah, that. In one episode, Twilight is concerned because she thinks that Discord has placed a spell on her friends when they keep hanging out with him like more than her. And at one point she's upset and vents her emotions to them, and they apologize for acting a certain way around her. but then Discord reveals that he wasn't really trying to like steal Twilight's friends from her. He was just hanging out with them because, you know, Twilight has been busy lately, like in the castle. But yeah, that was that was season 5, I believe. What what else am I missing here? Oh yeah, that was another episode too, where the key mark map brings Fluttershy and Twilight to this like one part of Equestria, like where these two families are fighting like one another, and Twilight tries to figure out why they're fighting, but then Fluttershy finally speaks up and tells them that, you know, like the reason why they're fighting is because, like their ancestors tried to figure out a way to help the animals of the land, and they did try to help, but then they keep arguing about how to help them, and in the end, like, they managed to like settle the differences and decide to help the animals now, and that was the episode 24, I believe, or sorry, 20, or sorry. This time I might be 23. But anyways, yeah. At the end of season 5, Twilight and Spike are given a lecture about friendship and the key marks, and she basically tells everyone there how they got the key marks. But then unknowingly, I think Twilight Glimmer was in the room too, because at one point she arrives in the castle and does a time travel spell that basically destroys the friendship map, but it also takes Twilight, Spike, and herself back in time when Rainbow Dash was about to do a Sonic Rain Boom. But then Starlight Glimmer keeps fucking up the timeline so much that many things, many events happen. Like for example, we get this one timeline where Sakura, Fluttershy, and the other like ponies are fighting against Chrysalis and the changelings, and at one point Chrysalis is basically Applejack in disguise, and according to Key Pony, and I think she might have killed her like off screen or something like that. Another example of a fucked up timeline is when Sombra takes over Equestria and puts mind control gear on the guards or something. Another fucked up timeline is where Luna is still like Nightmare Moon, and she has convinced Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and the other ponies to become her minions or something. But anyways, at the end of that 2-part special of season 5, Starlight, Spike, and Twilight go back to the moments where they learn that, the reason why Starlight Glimmer hates like Q marks is because she lost her best friend Sunburst after he got his one. But yeah, that was season 5. In season 6, Starlight becomes Twilight's student, and she basically starts to mentor her about friendship, and she does an okay job, I guess. But there are episodes where she doesn't really like do a good job, in my opinion. Like for example, in the episode All That She Does, Twilight basically leaves what's her name, Starlight Glimmer alone with the other main 5 ponies and Spike, or not Spike, sorry, the other main 5 ponies, and after she has difficulty telling them what to do or something like that, she uses a mind control spell on the other main 5 ponies to get them to do what she wants, and then she fucks it up at one point, and Twilight returns and is very disappointed in Starlight Glimmer for doing that, and reminds her that all she has to do is just try to be herself and do the best that she can with them, instead of trying to make them do what she wants, essentially. I'm trying to remember here what else happened in season 5. Oh yeah, sorry, season 6. Oh yeah, that. At one point, honestly, I can't remember what else happened in season 6 with Twilight. Oh yeah, that. At the end of season 6, Twilight and the main six, Princess Luna, Celestia, Cadence, Shining Armor, and Flurry Heart are captured by the Changelings and Chrysalis. But then with like Starlight's guidance from Twilight, I guess, she's able to lead a rescue team consisting of Trixie, Forax, and Discord, and then they're able to like stop Chrysalis and convince the Changelings to change as well and become good Changelings. And yeah, that was the end of season 6. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, like, there was an episode of season 6 called No Second Prances, where Trixie returns to Ponyville and becomes friends with Starlight, but then you know, Twilight keeps telling Starlight to stay away from Trixie because of her past with her, I guess. But then she learns to accept that Starlight must be the one to, you know, make choices instead of her. So yeah, that was season 6. In season 7, Twilight basically announces that, you know, Starlight is now a teacher of friendship, and she doesn't really do much. I'm not gonna lie, she doesn't do much in season 7. But there was an episode, I believe, called "A Flurry of Emotions," where Flurry Heart and Cadence dump. Cadence and Shining Armor dump a Flurry Heart on Twilight like for one afternoon. And at first Twilight's okay with it, but then she learns that she has to basically not spend time with the other ponies that she's supposed to spend time with, sadly, because his thing when she tries to spend time with Flurry Heart and the other ponies, like, Flurry Heart gets jealous essentially because of her emotions. Or jealousy, yeah, sorry, my bad. And then she causes like a lot of shit to happen in hospital. So at the end, she decides to let Spike handle the kids there, like, while she takes like Flurry Heart back home and spends time with her. That was okay. What else happened in season 7? Oh yeah, that Twilight also releases copies of her friendship journal to the public in one episode called Fame and Misfortune. And then a bunch of ponies keep arguing about their friendship lessons, and at one point they basically cause a riot outside of Twilight's castle. But then, you know, like, 2 ponies apologize to Twilight for the actions and tell her that the book is like helpful. And then after that, the main 6 hug. But then Applejack's like, aren't you gonna do something about that mob outside? And then Twilight goes like, don't ruin the friendship moments. But yeah, I think that was season 7, honestly. At the end of season 7, Twilight, with the help of Sunburst and Starlight, are able to open a time portal, like, to release like the pillars of Equestria. But then they also bring back the Shadow Pony as well, or something. But then Twilight is able to save like Stygian from the Shadow Pony at the end as well. So that was season 7. There was a movie after that. I forgot to mention. After season 4 happened, there was another Equestria Girls movie called Rainbow Rocks, where Twilight gets a message from Sunset, like, telling her that she has to go back to the human world in order to help them stop the Dazzlings or the Sirens, I guess. And the way that she gets this message is that Sunset has a book, and that Twilight also has, and if you write something in this book, like, from the human world, Twilight in the Pony world will also get this message too, I guess. But anyways, in that movie, Twilight tries to help the gang form a band called the Rainbooms in order to help stop the Dazzlings. But then they keep arguing and whatnot, and this causes the Dazzlings to become stronger. And so at one point, Sunset basically says, that they're arguing and petty fights are causing the Dazzlings to become stronger. And after they, like sing a song together, like with Sunset Shimmer involved in it, they're able to stop the Dazzlings and break their pendants. And this is also the last time that we see Twilight and Flash be together, because sadly, after the second Aquatic Girls movie, Flash no longer sees his beloved Twilight after that, or Pony Twilight, sorry, because he only saw her back in the first and second Aquatic Girls movie. But anyways, as I was saying, in the 2017 movie of Friendship is Magic, Twilight tries to organize a friendship festival or something in Canterlot, but then, what's her name? That Tempest Shadow and the Storm King attack, and Tempest Shadow basically captures, like all four all four Alicorn princesses, including Twilight. And when the Storm King arrives, he uses his staff to drain their magic and become stronger. But then Twilight manages to convince Tempest Shadow with the power of friendship to become her friend and rebel against the Storm King. And then they're able to fix everything and set everyone free at the end. And that was the movie. And then we also got introduced to the Hippogriffs too, which are which are sea ponies essentially. Anyways, in season 8, Twilight opens a school of friendship, but then this one pony by the name Naysayer, it tells her that he has to inspect the school of friendship to see if it's up to code. And after a few students ditch school that day, Naysayer announces that the school of friendship is closed. But then part 2, Twilight, with the help of Celestia and the other creatures such as dragons, yaks, and hippogriffs, are able to open the school again. And then Naysayer arrives and tells them to stop it. But then Twilight tells him to back off. But then he warns her that she will regret this decision in the future. But anyways, throughout season 8, Twilight basically assigns homework or whatnot, or something like that, to students, and also helps them too, I guess. But then at one point, the Flim Flam brothers try to open their own friendship school, but I think they call it the Friendship University. And then Twilight and Rarity investigates it. And then Twilight discovers that, Star Swirl the Bearded is funding the school unknowingly, after believing that the Flim Flam brothers, after thinking that the Flim Flam brothers are doing a good deed. But then she finds a secret room with all the bits that they got paid. And then she also finds out that all the lessons that they're teaching is basically her lessons. Meaning they're plagiarizing her work in a sense. And then she also reveals to... So at the end, Rarity and Twilight are able to expose the Flim Flam brothers and cause everyone to want their bits back as well. Anyways, that was that. I'm trying to remember now, honestly. In an early episode of Friendship is Magic called... I can't remember his name, but basically it's the one where Cozy Glow appears in, and the CMCs want to become teachers at the School of Friendship. Basically, Twilight assigns them to help Cozy Glow pass her friendship test, but then Cozy Glow fails on purpose, causing Twilight to, get angry at the Keymark Crusaders. But then Cozy Glow tells Starlight that, she basically tells Starlight that she did on purpose, for some reason, and then she tells Twilight about it too, and then Twilight forgives the Keymark Crusaders and gives them diplomas and whatnot, or something like that. indicating that they have graduated from the School of Friendship. So at the end of season 8, Cozy Glow basically takes over the School of Friendship when Twilight and the gang go to Tartarus to confront Tyrek about his crime and whatnot. But then Tyrek reveals that it was his pen pal Cozy Glow who did it. So anyways, after Cozy Glow fails at the end, Twilight and the gang arrive and they basically send Cozy Glow to Tartarus along with Tyrek. And that was season 8. In season 9, in the first 2 episodes called A Beginning of the End, Luna and Celestia basically tell Twilight that they're going to leave Ponyville for a while or something like that, or Canterlot, as a way to see if she's ready to handle ruling Equestria. Meanwhile, a Discord in the skies of Grogar basically summons Sombra, Chrysalis, Cozy Glow, and Tyrek to his lair and tries to get them to fight Twilight and the gang together, but then, Sombra goes on his own, and he's able to actually take over the Crystal Empire as successfully again, and he also puts mind control gear on the guards as well, like in a key remark back then. But then, and then he also takes over Ponyville too. But then Twilight and the gang arrive with the elements of harmony, and at first they think that they've won. But then Sombra reveals that he faked his own demise in order to find out where the elements are, and then he destroys the Tree of Harmony with them at the end of part 1, and then part 2. Twilight and the gang try to use a Discord as a way to help them defeat Sombra, but then Discord tells them that all they need is themselves and friendship, which causes them to beat Sombra at the end and free everyone. And then Celestia and Luna are returned as well, and decide that Twilight isn't ready to rule Equestria yet. But anyways, later on. In the episode Sparkle 7, Twilight and Shine Armor are having a stupid, childish competition to see who can win a stupid paper mache crown. But at the end, Spike wins it with the help of Luna, who's stroking a swan for some reason. But yeah, that was that was episode 4. And episode 5, no point of return, I think. Twilight has to return a book after so many years, and the point that she tries to return it to says that it doesn't matter because the book was called. It's not about being perfect, I think. I don't know. I can't remember the story of that episode. But then at the end, Twilight has to pay 28 bits, but she also loses her title of the best book reader as well because she hasn't returned the book in ages, I guess. Yeah, that was it. What else was there in season 9? At one point in the 13th episode between Light and Dawn, Celestia and Luna basically leave the castle more often and try to help out Twilight and the gang. But then Twilight tells them that maybe they should go on vacation for a while, while she runs Equestria, and they basically give her a device that will let her change these sun and moon, on her own, I guess. But then she breaks it, and it causes Celestia and Luna to end their vacation and come back holiday, and basically help her fix her mistake, I guess. I'm trying to remember what else now in season 9. At one point, in the episode Summer Sunset, Twilight tries to help make Luna's and Celestia's Summer Sun Festival count because you know, like, they're gonna leave Ponyville and go into retirement at the end of 9. Also, in another episode, Twilight enters a trivial contest or something like that, like where you have to team up with like another pony and answer like trivia questions, and her partner is sadly Pinkie Pie, but then at one point she basically makes it so that Pinkie Pie isn't her partner anymore, but Sunburst is, but then she quickly like realizes her mistake and decides that Pinkie Pie was the best partner for her at the end. And yeah, that was episode 16 or something like that. What else is there? Oh yeah, that at one point in another episode of season 9, she basically gives the School of Friendship to Starlight in the episode in episode 20, I believe, or something like that. And Starlight has to find a new vice mayor, which was Sunburst, and then she makes Trixie the school counselor as well. That happened. Anyways, at the end of, in the two-parter, the end of the end, I think Twilight is basically sent to the Crystal Empire after her friends try to prevent Cozy Glow, Tyrek, and Chrysalis from from capturing her, and then her friends meet her, in the Crystal Empire, and then they decide to fight Cozy Glow, Tyrek, and Chrysalis, who have Grogar's bell still, and then they're about to lose at one point, but then every creature arrives and decides to help them fight, the trio at one point, and then they're able to defeat them and regain Grogar's bell, restoring Discord and Luna and Celestia's powers as well, and then they trap all 3 villains in stone, just like with Discord originally. And yeah, that was episode 25, I guess. In the epilogue episodes, Twilight's basically depressed that she's basically depressed because she'll have to leave Ponyville and live in Canterlot as ruler of Equestria now. But then her friends reassure her that that they'll still be her friends regardless of where she is in life. And then after Coronation, Celestia and Luna announced that they are leaving Ponyville and going to this other place in Equestria, for retirement. But they've also combined their crowns and given it to Twilight at the end. But then Twilight announces that every moon or so, Twilight and her friends will link up and and basically hang out as friends, essentially. Just like what I'm doing at the moment with the Key Pony, because every Wednesday I go to his place and I hang out with him, just like how Twilight basically hangs out with her friends, every year or so. Anyways, at the end, Twilight, as the ruler of Equestria here, basically sings a song called The Magic Friendship Grows, along with the other main 5 ponies and Spike, I guess. And that's the end of my video here, I guess. Twilight basically went from a antisocial a unicorn to a ruler of Equestria who has friends still, I guess. But I didn't expect this video to be this long, honestly. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and Key Pony, I'll see you next week on Wednesday. Bye.